So this video has been a long time coming. I originally wanted to do a video about this months ago, and for whatever reason just kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And we're going to talk about school shootings and gun control in this video. And while this was originally a video I was going to put out after the Parkland, Florida school shooting, I think it's still relevant today, especially in light of the fact that the gun control push in this country has not lightened up at all since then. We've still seen things, ridiculous things happen, like what just happened with these ridiculous laws that were passed in Washington. Unconstitutional laws passed in Washington, but what more can you expect from the left coast at this point? But back after the Stoneman Douglas High School shooting, the Parkland, Florida shooting, I ran across an article that I thought was very interesting because it came out of Northeastern University. Now, for those of you that don't know anything about Northeastern University, it is not a right-leaning university at all. In fact, last time they did a poll, 2% of people at that school, both people attending the school and people working at the school, consider themselves either conservative or Republican. Everybody else consider themselves some other party, or primarily the vast majority, I believe 80%, consider themselves progressives or liberals or some mix thereof. Okay, so obviously this is a typical left-wing university, right? So when you're kind of scrolling through some articles and you run across something from a university like that, Northeastern University, and the title of an article is "Schools Are Safer Than They Were in the 90s and School Shootings Are Not More Common Than They Used to Be," that kind of catches your attention, don't you think? I mean, you can see that coming out of a Breitbart or something like that, or Daily Wire or The Blaze, but coming out of Northeastern University, found it a little bit strange. So I decided to read the article. Now, I'm not going to go through this whole thing, okay, but I'm going to read you off a few bullet points here. It says, since 1996, there have been 16 multiple victim shootings in schools or incidents involving 4 or more victims and at least 2 deaths by firearm, excluding the assailant. It goes on to say, of these, 8 are mass shootings or incidents involving 4 or more deaths, excluding the assailant. And then it goes through and gives you a little breakdown. I know you guys can't see this that well, but it gives you a little breakdown by year with these little graphics here that show, you know, what happened, how many people died, that kind of thing. It goes from 96 to 2018. Now, one of the interesting things about this is some of the sources that they get this information from. It's not any right-leaning sources. They didn't contact John Lott and ask his opinion on this. It said they got data from USA Today, not a right-leaning organization. The FBI's supplementary homicide report, which a lot of us have checked the FBI stats. Get online, you can look at gun crime for whatever year you want and see that obviously gun crime, mass shootings, all these things have consistently gone down for 30 years now. It says the Congressional Research Service, Gun Violence Archive, again, that is not a right-leaning organization. Stanford Geospatial Center and Stanford Libraries, again, not necessarily right-leaning in any way or conservative. And then check this out. Mother Jones, Every Town for Gun Safety, both 2 extremely left-wing, progressive, liberal organizations. And then the NYPD report on active shooters. That's where they're getting this information from. They went to all the places they thought they could get information to back up their probably more left-leaning anti-gun stance. And what they came up with was, oh, no. I'm honestly just surprised that they had the guts to actually publish a paper like this. They go on to say this is not an epidemic. Gun crime across the board, especially school shootings, have gone down. It goes on to give this chart right here. Now, let's see if you guys can see that there. See this chart? It starts in 92, ends, I believe, in 2016. Okay? See this high number here? Okay? These are school shootings. Okay? 1992. When myself and many others of you out there would have been in high school, we were 4 times more likely to die in a mass shooting at school, or any shooting at school, than children are today. Yet liberals and anti-gunners and progressives still push this narrative. I have literally heard liberals and progressives say these words. Well, I don't want to send my kids to school. I mean, they've got a 50-50 chance of getting shot in the face. That's what I've literally heard some liberals say, and it's absolutely ridiculous. Not only are our children safer today than they've ever been when it comes to going to school, especially in the last 30 years, 4 times safer to be exact, but society as a whole is safer, okay? Just because these well-publicized mass shooting events get plastered everywhere doesn't mean that more people are dying. Our murder rate is less than half what it was back in 1992. Okay, our children are safer. We're safer. And finally, thanks to Northeastern University, now liberals are finally admitting that gun control doesn't work and we actually are safer than we have been in the past.